Hey everybody, this is Daniel Chabert from Purple Fire, coming to you with a new SaaS Teardown, and today we're looking at Hotjar, super popular service in the heat mapping and survey industry. We're going to break down their customer acquisition funnel. We're going to click and see how it will take us through all the steps. The click-through rate, definitely going to be exciting to see what they have in store for us, and hopefully they're not going to let us down. So let's dive straight in here. We're on the front page of Hotjar, and right now we're looking at their, basically lead onboarding. This is what they want us to do when we hit their front page. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It's very important to understand what you're trying to get out of a teardown, because you might have different motivations. And today we're looking at specifically the customer onboarding journey, and we're looking through the CTA journey. So what Hotjar wants us to do when we are potentially a new customer that wants to sign up for their services. I always like to break down where they're getting their traffic from. They are a very established business, and we can see here that a lot of their traffic is direct, but also a lot of it is search, referrals, a little bit of social, and email. We can also see that from their organic versus paid, about 10% is paid, so they are spending a bit of money on ads. But when we look through some of the keywords, both on SimilarWeb and on Ahrefs, we can see that the top keywords are branded, but then as we go down, there are going to be more cold traffic, like heat mapping tools and stuff like that. So they're spending a good amount on it. When we go into Ahrefs, we cannot see a lot of data here. We basically only see all their branded terms, but it is worth noting that they are doing specifically landing pages and trying to sign people up through cold ads as well. So basically this is one of the landing pages they're trying, which is try Hotjar today, and I'm guessing they're trying to onboard a lot of traffic through this page right here. But it's very, very similar to the other page, although this one uses like a video that plays automatically, and then there's a bit of a review, which I think looks terrible. It's a wall of text. No one's going to read this, so I don't think it's super good, but otherwise the page is okay. But I'm gonna go straight back to the front page, because most of their clients or potential clients are landing on the front page. Now, so quickly straight off the bat, we're going to identify what are the main CTA buttons, and clearly it is, start free with email, start free with Google, and then they have the same buttons up in the corner. I did think that it was kind of funny that on here they don't have a solid color. It's white with a little bit of blue, and up here they do have a solid dark blue. So interesting how they chose to do that. But I think it has something to do with the fact that they don't want you to specifically look at the sign-in, but it should still be there for existing customers, and for new customers it's either here, here, or here. So it's decent, no problem at all. Hotjar is free forever, upgrade anytime. I like that, because as a new small business, you know that there's going to be no scams. You can start up with just putting your email in there, and it's going to be no credit card. We also given this down here, which is very useful. I would like to experiment with an A/B split test where we put it up here, as this can kind of drown a little bit as you scroll through the website, and it's not really given that you're seeing that. Otherwise, it's pretty cool to see how many businesses are using it, and then there's just a scroll of all the businesses that are using it as well. They're all big names out there, but it would be kind of cool if they had like 2 or 3 buttons where it says, enterprise, middle size, and small businesses, because I think there's a lot of small and middle sized businesses that don't necessarily feel that they belong in this category of huge brands. So that's just something to consider, showing differences. As we scroll down here, we see a demo site where you can see how their products are being used. So this is collect live feedback, see what people see. This is really cool. I think a lot of SaaS businesses could actually learn from this, because this is really a demo in the works, and without being gated with any information in front. You don't have to put your email or anything like that. So quite cool, and I really like that it's engaging. You can click on the buttons and you can see the different products they offer. I definitely think that this is one of the cooler ways to show off your product. And I would potentially add in here a way to put a voiceover. So maybe if you click it, it will actually show a play with voiceover, or a longer video you can click for each of them where you can kind of see more. I know you can click here, but just a bit of an explainer video with somebody going through the product. That would be really cool as well. Then there's a little bit more information here. I kind of like that they made their own, I would call it branding, with these like funny looking people, and that's very consistent throughout Hotjar. So this is something they've done well, and obviously they have an art director, a brand designer, and so on to doing this. So very cool. Then they have their tech stack. That's fine. I don't think it's gonna convince a lot of people, but it's fine, and you can explore to see more. Then there's a video here, probably from Envisions, or one of their customers. This is cool. I would like to see that there are more videos without having to click up here, so that I can quickly scroll through. So something where I can see more video reviews. I think that'd be cool. A little bit more information, but otherwise, like, no one is really going down here to check this, so it's not very important, but I think this could be improved a little bit as well. So if we go back up again, one thing that's really important, I think that's being neglected, is how are we doing on mobile. We clearly know the call to action on desktop, but I've gone through the trouble of checking it out on mobile as well, and the experience is really, it's a big difference. So we're on an iPhone 12 and a Google Pixel, so they are high-end phones right here, but you know what, most people have high-end phones today. And when you land on the page straight away, I would say the experience is somewhat bad, and there's a lot of text, and it doesn't feel like a high-end SaaS product, a heat mapping service. First of all, this video is not scaled to fit a phone, so the dimensions are all wrong. We all know that people don't want to look at such a small video, and it'll be super difficult to put your thumb in to scale the video up. So this one should have been uploaded in another dimension that looks at the screen resolution and then changes depending on that, right? So we get a video in the right dimension, which this one clearly isn't. So if we scroll down, we can still see the CTA, start free with email, start free with Google. That's all fine. The buttons up here are wrong, are gone. Sorry. There's no sign up button. I would like to have the sign up button here, because I think with Hotjar, a lot of people are actually logging in from their phone to check the latest stats if they're on the go. Give them that option. It is actually possible to sign in if you click here, but I would like to eliminate that by having a button up here that says sign in. And you could, make it a little bit smaller than that, but just make it a little bit easier. But we are talking about Hotjar from a lead onboarding and customer acquisition standpoint. So again, this is not the key thing at the moment. So the buttons are fine. If you go down here, things display okay. But remember that really nice demo. So now it loads down here, and again the dimensions are wrong. So it's super difficult to see what's actually going on. I would like to have that re-uploaded. I cannot actually click on it, but it might actually be okay. It might actually be because we're using, just a desktop version to kind of test this. But I wonder if this works really well with a phone. I'm assuming it will. Otherwise, these things are all fine on a phone basis. But let's go on to the actual lead onboarding. So I'm going to go straight back onto here, and we're going to click Start Free with Email. So this is the page they want us to go to whenever we want to start. So they left aligned all the way over here, and then they really want you to pay attention to all these big brands that are using it. I feel like the experience would be better if this was in the middle, and this text is not really that important, so it could be out on the side. I just think it's better user experience to have it straight up, in your face, knowing exactly what it is you need to do to go forward. One thing I really like is that it says full name here, and a lot of SaaS businesses make the mistake of adding first name and then full name, so adding 2 boxes. But your software should be intelligent enough to say that if there's a space between the 2 names, then it understands what is the first name and what is the last name, right? So let's try to set up here, see what will happen. So I'm just gonna use my own email. Now, okay, so I already typed in something, but let's try to go from scratch. So if I type in something here, I can see that I'm missing an uppercase, and it needs to be 8 characters minimum, 1 lowercase minimum. Generally, I believe that it is not good to make the password have plenty of requirements, because you're looking to make this as easy as possible. You could do something like 8 characters minimum, that's fine, but don't do lowercase and uppercase, because people tend to forget it, and it's just some way that you can, you know, lose a customer. Instead, what you should do is allow them to sign up with a simple password, and after they've been using the product and started paying and been using it for, like, let's say 2-3 weeks, then you can send them an email requesting them to update and make the password more secure. But again, it should be optional, because it should be the client's responsibility, and you don't want to make it complicated for them to sign up, right? So let's try to, you know, fill their requirements. I'm going to click accept terms. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now they want me to take a code in my email and put it in here. So I'm just going to pause it, and I'm going to take the code. Okay guys, I got the code now, and I'm just going to paste it in, and that was pretty smooth, and the email arrived straight on time, so that's really good. So now we're at the lead onboarding here, and they want me to put in my organizational name. This is good for CRM systems, but it's bad for onboarding clients, because you're testing their tolerance here, and it's just something that takes longer for them. I would say it's much more important for them to get going and start, you know, using the services. If they are a company, they will use their company name in the domain, so your CRM system can track it based on that. So, like, let's say I was doing it, you know, my email is daniel@purplefire.io, so they can get their organizational name just by taking this from the email. If they sign up with a Gmail, it's probably not a very important client. So in this case, yes, then the question could be triggered anyway, because you cannot find it from the email. But if they sign up with a domain email, don't ask this question, just get them straight on to the next level, right? So but anyway, we're gonna fill it out. Again, this is not super necessary, because you can get this data if you hook up with API to different databases based on the domain name that you already supplied. So again, not needed, but we'll fill it out now. So I would also remove this step to make the lead onboarding faster. What's your role? They're sort of trying to make this product as relevant as possible for you. So let's say that, so it says that I'm a CEO, but if I'm a CEO, they don't really know a lot about me. So I rather would say, you know, what industry you're in, but maybe this question will come later. I'm not going to say yes to any of this, because, you know, I want to make it, I don't want to be spammed. Now, this is something I really like. So instead of just sending you in somewhere, you're not sure where you're going, they actually ask you what service you're interested in from the 4 core products they actually have. So this is really interesting. And now if the lead has come in from a specific keyword, let's say survey software or whatever, then maybe there would be a way to pre-select this for the customer. So this could all be set up on the backend system, so that the client doesn't have to even select anything. Then you would probably move that up here, and then just show the 3 maybe a little bit grayed out under, so that you don't even need to think about this, right? I love that you can skip as well. This is really nice in case I don't want to fill this out. Have you used Hotjar before? A few times. Let's just go to the next level. And then you need to enter your URL here. And this is probably because they want me to add the script to my website. Okay, let's actually use my own website. It's pretty cool that the logo loads here. That's pretty cool. And also you can do it later. That's really important, because sometimes clients just doesn't want to, you know, do this. Okay, this is a huge mistake. Actually, you are not able to just type in your domain. And there should be a way for the backend to fetch the HTTPS without having me to do it. So now I have to go out and actually type it. So this is a step where they're losing customers again. And now I actually have to go out and type it, which is really annoying, or I can, type it manually, but really not a great way to do things, to be honest. So let's add it in manually here. Let's see what they say. Okay, accepting. So let's see what they meet with us. So this is really important. We always talk about lead, the cost per lead, but what is your lead to customer rate? This is a metric that is extremely important and no one really talks about it. So you might be able to get the lead to add in their email, kind of sign up, fill out the form, but are they actually turning into a customer? So this is where it's really important. And when I go on here, it is a little bit overwhelming, like what is the next step? I'm not 100% sure. I do get a notification up here that I need to install Hotjar to gather insights. But if I'm new to this whole industry, this doesn't really tell me exactly what to do. So I would like to have more of a step-by-step guide. Also, what is all this stuff here? I can create a workspace, but do I want to create a workspace now? Or do I want to install the code? So this is something that could be improved. So what should they do here? First of all, they should do the thing that makes you a paying customer. And what is that? That is probably to install the JavaScript so that you can actually measure things. So this tracking stuff should go out here in the middle, and it should say your to-do list out here in the middle, and it should mention what you need to do to get to the next level. You need to install JavaScript on your website, and that can be difficult because some people are not very technical and they don't know how to do it. So there should be different options, like email this to my developer, where it sends an email, everything explained, to an email of choice, and you click send, and that's done. And then the developer can understand exactly what to do, and the developer doesn't even need to get the Hotjar login. So that's going to help a ton. Also, I would prefer if a customer service rep now talks to me. And you can set it up so that it loads. You could use Intercom, for example. A customer service rep will open up here and say, hey, is there anything I can help you with? I can see that you still need to set up your JavaScript. I would love to help you out. And this can be automated, but it can still be assigned to a person. So it's not a robot, it's not a bot. And only if there's a response, then somebody actually needs to jump in and talk to the customer. And you can be 100% sure if the customer responds and engages in that conversation, it's going to be worth your time talking. And also we have to consider that the more you talk to a client on a personal level, the more inclined they are to feel emotionally attached to the product, like they are making progress, like this is the right software for me, and I already talked to them, so I might as well finish it, right? So talking to the client at this stage makes a lot of sense. And finally, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but some softwares, they kind of gray out all over the screen, and then it says, you know what, it shows you workspaces, and it will explain to you what workspaces is, and then you need to click next, and it will go over here, and it will show you what does the tracking status mean. So it's basically a live demo, but it guides you through the website. And I would like to see that option here, because I don't know what workspaces is, and I could be lost here, and I could just say, you know what, I'm not sure what I need to do. But anyway, let's try to click install now, and now we can see that it is actually really like user friendly. The code, you could copy it here, but I don't see a way to email this to my developer. I think that's a huge mistake. If I'm on this page, it means that I might be struggling as well. Why can I not talk to a customer service rep right here? I can rate my experience. That doesn't give me any information. It doesn't help me out at all. I can connect to WordPress because they have scanned my CMS system and seen that I use WordPress for my website. That's pretty cool. But it's still going to be difficult for a lot of people to do it, right? So if you click here, you can get the plugin, which is cool and all that. But to be honest with you, I still think that it is not super easy, and it could be done a lot better. So last but not least, this has been, this is the onboarding journey and going from a lead to a customer. So there's a lot to improve here, although there's a lot also going really well for them. Now, how do I pay for my services so I can start, using the services? I can go in here and I can put in my credit card in. That seems pretty easy. I like that. That is good. But let's also, by the way, here you can contact support and here you can schedule a call. It makes no sense that you cannot do that when you actually need them the most, because most people are not going to click manage your plan and go to contact. The last thing I want to do for this teardown is I want to look at their pricing, and I want to see if we can see how they're pricing this out and if there's something to do. So we go back to the pricing. We can see that it's by default. By default, it is put on yearly, which is standard in SaaS. And it makes a lot of sense, because if you can collect the money up front, it's gonna improve your metrics a lot. I would love to see a split test on 75 and 79 to see if that does something for people picking the business tier over the plus tier, because the price gap is pretty huge. And I think a lot of people would be inclined to pick the plus, which is okay if they only need that, but I just think it would be worth testing. Secondly, the recommended is kind of a black font around it, and it's kind of easy to miss that is the recommended choice. I would like for it to stand out a bit more. Sometimes you can make it a little bit bigger up here as well for it to stand out, a little bit wider as well. There's not a lot of attention to the recommended pick, and I know it's going to be big for them to get business plans sold over a plus plan. And again, if we look at here, starting from 500 daily sessions, let's see here, up to 3,000 sessions a month. I think it's a little bit confusing that it goes down from here, because this is starting from, and I know you get other functionality in, but this almost seems like a downgrade if I get 3,000 sessions, up to 3,000. But people don't read everything. They're gonna think, okay, I get 3,000, and here it says, okay, starting from 500. So I'm paying 80, but I'm getting 500 here. I'm getting 3,000, right? And I know it's not like that, but people are skimming prices today. You cannot expect people to read everything in full. They're just gonna see the numbers. So this is a reason to not buy here, because it kind of like, okay, so how does it work? Where do I start? So this needs to be rewritten so it's more clear, and there should be a bigger reason to use business, right? So that's something that could be a lot better. Frustration and confusion signals. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but I don't know. I don't think there's enough of a reason to upgrade to business. I think this could be done better. Otherwise, it's okay. Let's see if I click get started. Do I get onboarded? Okay, it goes straight into my account that's set up. So there's a little bit to be fixed there, but pricing is not terrible, but I'm pretty sure you could do some split testing and improve that as well. So anyway, guys, this was Hotjar. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, but I'm 100% sure they can improve, and it's especially when the lead is going to potentially turn into a customer and when you need to install the code. That's where Hotjar is having issues, and it's mobile, where the website simply doesn't look good on mobile because the videos are not scaled correctly and there's way too much text. So this is something that could be improved. But overall, a pretty decent experience with room to grow.